with that?
Woo!
Yeah, give it up, give it up.
Colonel Thomas got a hold of me, I don't know, probably about 2-3 weeks ago and said, hey, can you come by and do a quick refresher for rope bridge? And even though I saw fantastic results from the male and female team throughout the Raider season, I keep up, I look online and stuff. But I told him the other day, I said, they can probably teach me more now because rope bridge, as you know, if you don't keep up with it year to year, you can lose it really, really quick. And there's some basic knots, that you'll always hang on to that you've learned. But let me tell you, it is really easy to lose that institutional knowledge. It is. And I've seen some schools out there while Colonel Thomas and I were instructing here, they'd have a season, they were just unbelievable. And then the next year, they just fell apart, just fizzled out, because they just didn't keep that institutional knowledge. So it's real important that you guys who are repeats, female, state team, you need to pass that institutional knowledge down, and you need to train the younger cadets, okay? Because we always want Viera on top, don't we?
Yeah.
No? We always want to be on the bottom? Okay, so who in here has been shown how to tie like Swiss seat, square knot, and all those rope bridge knots? Not many? Okay, I don't think that we have enough ropes to pass around for everybody to grab a rope and start messing around with Swiss seats and that. Was there one female over here that was kind of showing the team how to tie the Swiss seat? You want to do that real quick? Let me come on out here. You can be the demonstrator. We'll talk them through it. All right. From year to year, the standards change on rope bridge, so you just have to be flexible. You got to change with the MOI or the instructions that come out every year. One year, actually, there were many years that you had to tie your Swiss seat within 1 minute. Was it that way last year?
No, you had 5 minutes total.
You had 5 minutes total, right? 5 minutes total to tie your Swiss seat, get your ropes all set out. That's great. But previous years before that, your ropes were on the ground, and they said, get set, go. And of course, everybody's like this, but you had to reach down, and everybody in your team had to tie your Swiss seat in 1 minute. Now, if you practice it, you can get it down in about 30 seconds or less. But 1 minute stresses a lot of people out. So you need to be prepared. Do you have the MOI yet this year?
It's 5 minutes.
It's 5 minutes. But next year it could be a minute. You want to try to tie it as fast as you can, but don't be sloppy and have good standards when you tie it, because you don't want a deficiency on. There's one thing you never want a deficiency on, it's your Swiss seat. Never have a deficiency on your Swiss seat. What are they gigging you now, like a minute? 30 seconds for a deficiency on a seat? Can't afford that, especially at a high level of competition. You cannot eat 30 seconds. It'll take you from the top to mid-pack. So I'm going to have my demonstrator, Miss Schaefer. So I think I was gone when you came in, but I know your siblings. So all right, you're going to start off with the rope on the ground, but for competition purposes, everybody will just kind of lay the rope out and stand. As you can see, a lot of these ropes are have a piece of tape on them. The tape is basically the center of the rope. Why do we need the center of the rope marked? Anybody know? Because that's what you have to identify first, is the center of the rope. Because once you identify the center of the rope, it's going to go on your left hip. Okay, left hip, right on dead center. If it's not marked, then you're basically going to have to grab your rope, put the ends even, milk your rope all the way to the end to find the middle of the rope, and then you're going to put it. But that's 5-6 seconds doing that you can't afford to waste. So until they tell you that you can't have your ropes marked, your Swiss rappel seats, it's going to be on the ground, it's going to be marked. She's going to step in there and position herself where all she has to do is step down and grab the rope. So they're going to say you have 5 minutes, go ahead and begin. She's going to reach down. She already knows that the tape is the center. I'm going to move you around as we do this. She puts it on her left hip, and she's going to wrap the rope around her waist, and she's going to tie an overhand knot. Just like, go ahead and turn around as you do that. Let me have another volunteer up here who can tie a Swiss seat. That way you can face this direction. Move up just a little bit. And if you're in the back and can't see, especially if you're a newer cadet, you need to move to the front. Put the old timers in the back, as long as they're not talking, right? Okay, so go ahead and you turn this way and where they can, I'm sorry, you go ahead and turn where they can see you. So they've tied a half knot. It's just like a knot you're tying your shoe. Everybody know how to tie your shoe? It's that first knot, that's a half knot. But you really want to put one more wrap in it. So you can see you put three wraps. And I'm not going to go through the valleys and the ridges right here, but just put 3 wraps, and it should be tightly secured around your stomach. So you can see it's tightly secured, 3 wraps. Everybody got it? That's going to prevent the rope from slipping, and it tightens down pretty well. At that time, you're going to go ahead and drop the rope, and you're going to feed it behind your legs, or through your legs. Go ahead and turn around where they can see your back. So you see how they grabbed them. You see how the ropes are not crossing as they went underneath the legs. Now, depending on the year, the instructions change. One year there were so many, actually a couple of years, there were so many teams getting deficiencies, that's a rope being tied improper, that they finally gave up and said, you can do it either way. And what I'm talking about is once you grab, let's just do 1 rope at a time. So go ahead and just drop 1 rope and let them see this rope here. You're going to take 1 rope and you're going to go from the sky to the ground, and you're going to put it down through the top of this rope running along her waist here. Everybody see that? Go ahead and turn where the camera can see you. Everybody see how she went from sky to ground? And you're going to go ahead and pull that rope. Go ahead and turn around, let them see that. Pull that rope all the way through. Everybody see that? Now you're going to go ahead and do the same with the other rope. Make sure it's not crossing the other rope under your leg. And you're going to go ahead from sky to ground. That means you're pushing it from the top, the sky, down to the ground behind that rope along your back there, your waist. Now what you should have here is you should have this, both of these ropes, I'm gonna spin you as I'm talking. Both of these ropes should form a bite. Do you see how that's biting right there? Go ahead and turn. Do you see that bite along the waist? That's what you want. Because when she actually tightens this rope down and we do this, go ahead and stand strong, and we pull on that rope, it bites in right here and it prevents this rope from slipping. If she goes from ground to sky behind this rope, like this, and around, you kind of lose a little bit of a bite and it wants to pull as it tightens. Okay? See, it's not really biting on anything back here. Everybody see that? 2 years ago, they finally said it doesn't matter. You know, you can go sky to ground, ground to sky, whatever you want to do, no deficiencies. But this works much better because it actually will bite and it's not going to slip, especially when it's tightened. When it's tightened down, it's not going to slip. Everybody got that? Okay. So once they have it from sky to ground, they're going to go ahead and squat to the ground. That's good.
Just flip it.
Now, this is what you don't want to prevent too. Right now, it's ground to sky. But when you go sky to ground, make sure that your rope is not on the outside. Everybody see that? Make sure it's not on the outside, because look what happens. Go ahead and turn. You no longer form a bite right there. You have to go to the inside so it forms a bite when you cross it back over. Everybody got that? So it's not like that. It's to the inside, to the inside. So she's going to grab, and they're going to grab the rope on the inside, and they're going to squat to the ground. As they stand up, they're going to pull the rope tight down. Stand up and pull it down. It's going to tighten up that whole saddle. As soon as they get that rope tight, they're going to go ahead and try to keep the pressure on the rope to keep it tight, and they're going to wrap both ropes around to the left hip. Go ahead and turn where they can see you. Now you remember where we started with the middle of the rope on the left hip? That was for a reason, because we're going to finish off this the Swiss rappel seat. That's the name of this seat right here. It's going to finish off on the left-hand side, and we're going to have equal lengths of rope. If we've done it right, we're going to have pretty equal lengths of rope when we finish this knot off with a square knot and 2 overhand knots to secure it. So, does anybody not, let me ask you this, who knows how to tie a square knot? Okay, so we'll go over that knot next. I should have actually done that first, but that's okay. So she's going to go ahead and tie a square knot. She's going to go right hand over left, and I'll talk you through this in a second. And if she went right over left, then she's going to go left hand over right. And notice how this knot is secured on the left hip. Keep it away from the front of the body. Keep it on the hip over here, even for rappelling purposes. Keep it over here. She has a square knot. The next thing that they're going to do is they're going to secure this square knot, because it's really not a square knot until it's secured, and you're going to square it with an overhand safety knot. I'll show you how to do this when we do the square knot. So go ahead and tie an overhand safety on both sides. That's good. Go ahead and tie it. Once the two overhand safeties are secured, this secures the square knot, and at this point in time their Swiss rappel seat is tied. Now notice where you have a lot of, this is called leftover or tail. She has a lot of tail left right here. This is really what you want. But on this one, she doesn't have a whole lot of tail. You actually want to have at least a fist length of tail. Now they say a fist to a fist and a thumb, but if you have a longer rope, you're going to have a lot more tail. And that's going to be dependent on how large you are around the midsection. Okay? So this, they would actually say, you're a no-go. This is a deficiency. So they would gig her 30 seconds. So how do we prevent from having too small of a tail? You get a longer rope, right? Absolutely. Get a longer rope, because you can always take the tail and you can just tuck it in after they inspect you. The last thing they're going to want to do is grab a snap link. Anybody got a snap link? Grab a snap link, and they're going to put the snap link inside or on the Swiss rappel seat. Now the way that I always remember this, the way that I was taught like 80 years ago, is take the snap link. Let me have another one. Got it. You take the snap link, and you have an opening gate right here. Everybody see the opening gate? Act like you're taking that opening gate and just hanging it right in your lip. Just like that. Okay, got that? I go home and put all my gauges and stuff in. No, not really. Act like you're hooking your lower lip and just take it straight down. Make sure you go over all strands of the Swiss rappel seat right here. Everybody got that? Once you get it all the way through, that's a bad one. Once you get it all the way through, the opening gate is going to be opening down. So you want to take and rotate your snap link 180 degrees to where it's opening out and away from you. Now you can see the opening right here. Everybody got that? Guys, you got that over there? So you're gonna put it all the way through, and then you're just gonna rotate it 180 degrees, and you're ready to rock. Okay? So that's the Swiss rappel seat. Go ahead and take those off, and let's do the square knot. That's really the first knot we need. This knot just is what's going to secure your Swiss rappel seat. They just tied it, but now we're going to show it to you. So you're going to grab both ends of your rope. By the way, if this is my rope I'm working with, this is called a what end? Repeat, cadets.
Working end.
This is a working end, because I'm working on this end. What's this end called? A running end. So you have a running end and you have a working end. But when we're showing you the square knot, we're going to go ahead and they're both working ends. We're going to basically tie these pieces of rope together and secure them. That's kind of what you're doing on the left-hand side of the Swiss rappel seat over here, right? You're tying that square knot with two overhand safety knots. So we're just going to show it to you right here in front of everyone. So you're going to take your ropes, and the way that you're going to tie them together, I will guarantee that everybody in here, when you tie your shoe, you tie it the same way every time. Every time you tie your shoe with your laces, you always go like this and tie an overhand knot. Or you grab it, you don't even think about it, it's subconscious, or you go like this and you tie an overhand knot. Okay? So you need to figure out what you do on your shoe, because that's what you've been doing since you've been a little tyke, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to tie your first overhand knot. In this case, Miss Schaefer went right over left. Go ahead and back up and show them again. She took the right rope and she went over the top of the left rope. Does everybody see that? And then she's going to go ahead and tie her half knot. Now, because she went right over left on her first knot, guess what she's going to do on the second knot? Left over right, just the opposite, and tie another. Okay? What you end up with is you end up with what they call a square knot. And basically, Basically, and this, they're both tying them correctly. What this knot is, it's basically 2 bites that are connected together. 2 bites connected together, because this is a loop, this is a bite. So if you look at Miss Schaefer's knot right here, guess what we have when we push in on these 2 tails? You see the 2 bites? See how the 2 bites slide back and forth? That is a proper square knot. If Miss Schaefer did a right over left and didn't do the opposite and went right over left again, now we have, it looks kind of like a square knot, but when we push on it, it doesn't slide as easily when these are parallel to each other. And if you look at it, it just looks funky to me. This tail is coming underneath, this one's coming out on top. This one's coming out on top, this one's coming out underneath. That's called a what type of knot? That's a granny knot. We don't want granny knots. That is a deficiency, a no-go. That's a gig. So you want to tie a square knot where when you tie it, you can see the 2 bites and they slide very nicely. Everybody got that? Now when you tie that knot, you want to make sure it's tight, nice and tight. Now we have to secure this square knot. And the way that we're going to secure this square knot is what they call an overhand safety. They used to use a half hitch. I'll show them the half hitch. This used to be acceptable in junior ROTC and across the Army. So a half hitch is basically by taking your tail end right here and looping it around and right back through. Everybody see that? And basically securing this half hitch right to the end of the square knot. That used to be acceptable, but then the Army and all their infinite wisdom said that's really not secure. What we need to do is we need to tie an overhand safety. So an overhand safety, I'll let Ms. Schaefer tie an overhand safety, is you instead of coming up through here, she's going to go all the way around and she's going to make a loop. And she's going to come through the loop just like you're tying your shoe on that knot. Okay, let me see this side. Now watch what I do. You see this this working end right here, the tail? I'm going to wrap it all the way around. Okay, you see that? I'm not going to go through here because that's a half hitch. I'm going to see that loop right there that I just created? All the way around to the loop on the same rope. It's a loop. Once you get the loop, you're going to come around the back side of the loop and through. Now what does that look like to you? Right here. Pretzel. It looks like a pretzel. It's a half knot like you tie your shoelace with. Basically, it's a half knot that you're tying on this rope right here. You see that? And you're going to go ahead and secure that knot. Just like that, right? Like that? Is that good? What's wrong with that?
It's not close to the square knot.
It has to be a knot that is right up against the square knot. So don't tighten it down right here. You have to actually tighten it down where it is on the square knot itself. It's got to be right on the edge of the square knot. Okay, everybody see that? So you understand kind of the square knot. They'll probably give you maximum time to practice these knots. You'll be out here, go home, and practice with a rope, with a, you can do square knots with anything, a shoelace or whatever. So we good on the square knot? Okay. Are they doing bowlines anymore? Where are they doing the bowline at? They're not doing overhand?
You can do both, maybe. You can do figure 8 or no.
I thought it was figure 8. Bow in the
Figure 8.
Okay. Well, it used to be that you would tie what they called a bowline. This knot takes a while to learn, but recently, within the past 3 years, they've allowed the Raiders to tie what they call a figure 8. The figure 8 is a much faster, a much easier knot to tie and to break down. So I would recommend that if they give you the option of a bowline or a figure 8, that you go with the figure 8. A bowline. You know how to tie the bowline? Okay. I'm not gonna take you through, but I'll show you just the real quick process. you're going to take the bowline. You can see over here. Go ahead and back up just a hair. The bowline, a couple ways to tie it. The way that I was taught many years ago is you lay it in your hand and you spin it and you grab the rope, and it looks kind of like a hat, and the half knot's on the left side. You act like you're hitting yourself in the chest. You're going to go through the little loop here and right back on itself, and you're going to pull this through. And when you tighten that bowline, your tail is to the inside of the loop right here. Everybody see the tail to the inside? And then you're going to have to tie that same overhand safety that you just tied on the square knot onto the bowline to secure your bowline, like so. Now that takes a little bit of time, right? You can get it down pretty quick, but not nearly as quick as you can the figure eight. Now the beautiful thing about the bowline, it's the best anchor knot in the world. You could grab onto that, you could hook it onto a truck, and it's actually going to be that. And you could hook on and tow a truck as long as the rope's not going to break, and you could pull that thing tight. How many of you have brothers or dads who have ever towed something, and then they back the truck up and they let off, and they pull it off, and they're like, and they can't get it. And the next thing you know, they're pulling out their knife and they're cutting the rope. Anybody ever seen that? No, nobody has, right? Y'all lying. The beautiful thing about the bowline is I can get 10 of you on here and we can pull this thing absolutely taut where it is so tight. And the minute we let off of it and I unhook it, I can basically break this knot down. Of course, you're going to take your safety knot off because there's no tension on the safety, the overhand safety. You're going to undo that, and that's your bowline. All the tension was right there. And all you're going to do is there is a little bite right here. And you can literally, a 6-year-old kid can take his finger and break that bite down, and the whole knot comes loose and basically falls apart. The best anchor knot in the world. You'll never cinch that thing down to where you can't untie it. Okay? But it's not really fast when you're doing Raider. If they allow you to do an overhand knot, a figure eight. A figure eight basically looks like this. Does everybody see the little 8 in there? Like a figure eight? But we can't tie the figure eight like that. What we have to do is we have to double the rope like this. Okay? It has to be tied with a double rope. So this is only going to be tied by actually 2 people on the Raider team. But everybody needs to know how to tie it because you never know when, oh, you're sick, and then guess who's got to replace them? You're in, you're the guy, you know how to tie that? You can say, Roger that, and you can do that. So everybody needs to know how to tie the knots. So, many different ways to tie it. I'm just going to show you kind of what I was refreshing myself when I got here, because we weren't tying this until the last year or 2. But you're going to basically be taking this to tie it doubly. You're going to take it around and you're going to flip like this. See, I'm doing a lot of twisting. And then I'm going to reach down here and I'm going to pull. Now you notice that we still have the same type of figure eight right there, but now it's just a double figure eight. It's a double rope on there. Does everybody see that? So do you see, is that faster or is the bowline faster?
Figure eight.
The figure eight is, because that's your knot right there. I don't have to secure this overhand or this figure eight. That's what they consider a secure knot. And you're ready to hook it into your snap link and run across to the far side. So that is really the knot. And then when you break it down, it's as simple as just, you're done. It's nice. When you went to state last year, did you guys use the figure eight? Okay. Who was the far side? Are they here? Far side? So who's got that task now? Guys, you already know who's got it? You're fast, right? Okay. So those are the basic knots. There's one more knot that everybody kind of needs to know how to tie, and it's called the what? Wireman's knot. It's part of what they call the transport tightening system. The rope bridge commander is kind of in charge of that. So what you're going to do when your rope is laying on the ground, you're going to be picking up your rope, and you know how to tie it? Okay, I'll let you tie it. You're going to go ahead and turn so they can see you. You're going to go ahead and make 3 loops in your hand. Okay, nice and slow so they can see. 3 loops in your hand, and as you see with the palm up, after she makes those 3 loops, that's good, you can see that she has 3 ropes running across her palm. Okay, and Cadet Sheldon has the same thing, 3 ropes running across his palm. Now what you're going to do to tie the wireman's knot as part of the transport tightening system, you're going to grab the center rope. And you're going to take the center rope and you're going to go to the, what I call the high side, or the upper palm side, and you're going to let go. You're going to grab the middle rope again. You're going to go to the fingers. You're going to grab the middle rope again. You're going to go to the palm, back here. And then you're going to grab the middle one and pull straight up and grab down below, and you're going to tighten that thing up. That is a wireman's knot. Now once you get this wireman's knot tied, it might look a little funky, but once you dress it down, it's perfect then. Once you get the wireman's knot tied, just like this, what you're going to do is you're going to see this where this is biting right here. It's like a little loop, but it's a bite. You want to take your loop end right here, and you're going to push your loop end back through the bite. Watch how I do this. You're going to just feed it back, and everybody see what I have right there? All I did is I pushed that back and created a space for my my apparatus or my stick or my snap links to go through. Okay, so that's your wireman's. You're going to push it back through just like this, and that's what your apparatus is going to go in, and that's what's going to be tightened onto. Now why do we put a stick or an apparatus through here?
So you can get it undone.
So we can get it undone, because when we got a bunch of horses, guys, on that rope, and even ladies pulling like mad, this thing is going to tighten up so tight that when you go to break it down, if you don't have a stick in here, once again you're going to be like this, working it for a minute trying to get this thing apart. But if you put a stick in here, it's going to tighten on the stick, and then when you pull that stick out, there's your knot right there. Think you can get that out much easier? I'd say so, because then all you have to do is pull the loop out, grab both ends of your rope down here, and your knot's out. That's, oh, I'm sorry, did I hit anybody? So that's your wireman's knot, and it's really, really effective, and that's what you're going to be using for your transport tightening system. Okay, so we're good kind of on the knots. You'll learn those. The bowline is going to be probably your biggest challenge, but you still need to learn that knot in case they go back to it, but you need to know the wireman's knot, or the figure 8 knot, and the bowline both. Okay, so are we good on the Swiss seat? You'll learn how to tie that. I'm just kind of giving you an overview and a visual right now. Guys, ladies, did I miss anything that you think's important?
Can you go over like commander seats and far side seats? Maybe?
Yeah, basically the commander's seat. Do you know how to tie it?
God.
Okay, it's basically a square knot.
They changed it.
What?
Well, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, they changed
They do
it.
the Aussie seat now, so it's just a square knot with 2 ropes.
Yeah, so it's really long.
It's not.
Do you know what they're talking about?
Yes.
No, they changed it.
What?
Is that right? No, you don't double up the rope anymore.
No, it is
2 ropes, and
it's
it's
just
just
a square
Aussie.
knot.
It's a square knot with the 2 ropes.
At Statesby, they do something else.
Now go ahead and tie it how you're saying. Yeah?
And then
They do that.
You don't have to secure it.
No,
No.
that's what we did last
Okay.
year.
All right. So it's basically a square knot around your waist. Hey, easy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So you're going to have the commander, the one commander, and the far side raider. They're going to have to tie a commander seat. And basically, you're going to find the middle of your rope again, and there it is because it's already taped. And you're going to go ahead and put it around your waist. Okay, just like this. And you know that square knot we just tied? You're going to tie it again, just like you're tying your shoe. So she went right over left and ties the first half knot. And now she's going to go left over right, and she ties it. That is basically just like the square knot that you secured on the left hip over here for the Swiss rappel seat. Now, if they change, are they changing it this year? Do you know?
No, it's the same as last.
Okay. If in the next couple of years they change it again, all you have to do with this is secure it the same way you secure your Swiss rappel seat. You're going to come up through, make a loop all the way around and tighten it. And that secures your commander seat. But if they're only making you do a square knot, and that surprises me because that's not a secure knot, that can come loose when you're crossing a river or an obstacle. That overhand safety is really what secures that. So I don't know who made that decision, but hey, it's easier on the 2 knots. So once you tie that square knot or the commander seat, you're going to flip it around to the back side of your body. And then you're going to take a snap link. Who's got a snap? Let me have a couple snap links. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put 1 snap link on if you're the far side person. If you're the commander, you're going to put 1 snap link on, flip it 180 degrees where it is opening out and away from you, just like this. Like you're hooking your lip, go down, flip it around 180 degrees. It's going to be just like that. Now, if you're the far side and you're running across the obstacle or swimming across the river, you're going to need 2 snap links. So you're going to hook another snap link in there. Now, once you hook, can y'all see you good? Go ahead and flip around. Go ahead, flip. Right there. So once you hook your second snap link on, you see how I hooked it on just like this? All I did is I hooked it on. What you're going to do is you're going to flip it 180 degrees. Why would you flip it 180 degrees, you might ask? When you first put it on there like this, you're going to have to hook a rope in here, because that's what's you're gonna be running the rope across the obstacle, yes? So when you hook the rope on here, it's harder to hook it in right here with all this snap link in the way. So if you flip it 180 degrees, look at that. I mean, it's beautiful. You can get anything right on there. You hook it on and you run, okay? The commander only has to have 1 snap link on and they're tracking. Anything else that you want to go over that you're missing, that I'm missing? I'm rusty. That's it? Okay. Really need we'll use the team that we have set up for the demo. We need to have everybody, though, really pay attention. If you've never done rope bridge, you need to be right up front watching, okay? You ready? So let's go over to this site.
I guess.
I got that one.
Okay, who's usually in charge of the rope? Anybody know?
For sure.
Is it the commander? Is it going to be the tall man? Is it going to be the far side guy?
For sure.
Far side really has the responsibility for the rope. Okay. Now, when you get done with your training, everybody, I don't know if you've seen anybody coil the ropes. A lot of people will coil ropes. You know, they'll do this, and they'll this, and they'll coil that thing up. That's fine. But sometimes your coils will get messed up, and then when you go to uncoil it and you throw it out, it's like this on the ground. It's a big mess. So what a lot of people will do in Raider is they'll get an arm's reach of rope with their thumbs up. They'll reach down with they're not going to let go. They're going to hang on to that reach. They're going to reach down and hook this part with this thumb. They're going to hook this part with this thumb, and they're going to continue this pattern. Now what that does is that creates like an X with your ropes, and that X prevents the ropes from bundling up in a big gob and messing you up. So what you want when you get your rope out and you're ready to go, you should be able to just take it and basically throw it out, and it should all come undone just like that, and it's not like clumping. Does that make sense? Okay. The reason the far side Raider has to be responsible for the rope is because everything is based off of their measurements. This represents an obstacle, and I know we're running on time, so I'm going to just try to speed it up a little bit. This is what's considered an obstacle in between these 2 poles. These 2 poles are 60 feet in length. I think the maximum that they'll ever do in a Raider meet is 60. They could go all the way down to 45 or 40 if they wanted, but they'll usually never go over 60. Your rope has to be 120 feet in length. They will not let you go any longer. And if you go to a competition, I don't know what they did last year, they'll have you lay your rope out, and if it's over 120, they cut it and tape it. So practice the way that you're going to compete. So what the far side raider and the commander have to figure out is what is the distance between these two, or the distance of the obstacle here. And we already know that it's 60 feet between these two poles, but if you don't know that, you're gonna have to just kind of guess in a real world, if it's a river or something. But if it's a raider meet, if they don't tell you, you can get out there and kind of walk it off. Walk it off the night before or that morning if nobody's gonna say, stay away from the rope bridge site. Walk it off, estimate your distance. So the far side raider, the first thing he's gonna do is spread his rope out. Everybody else can kind of help him get it laid out like this. And he's gonna estimate the distance between the poles. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, go ahead.
Oh.
You wanna do it or you want me to do it? Okay. So about an arm's reach for me is about 5 feet. I'm not putting my fingers out and making it 5'10" or 5'11" or 5'9" because I'm shrinking. But arm's reach is about an estimated 5 feet grabbing onto it. So that's basically 5 feet, and then guess what I'm gonna do? 10 feet, 15 feet, what's next? 20 feet, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Right there gets me from pole to pole. And if we're gonna cross an obstacle, you're gonna find anchor points, telephone poles, big heavy trees, something that you can actually tie the rope to. So that's pole to pole, but we need about 5 more and maybe a little bit. You can mess with it and kind of see where you want it. But if you take too much, you're gonna short side the commander. They won't be able to tie their transport tightening system and tie it and finish the knot off here if you take too much. If you don't take enough, you're gonna be struggling to get around the pole and tie your side over there. So that's about where we want it, and what we have done in the past, you can do whatever you want, is we just kind of kink the rope. And that kinked rope gets given to the commander. The commander has to maintain control of that. He can't let it go. Now he can put it on the ground, he can hang on to it. We usually say never step on ropes because it drives debris and dirt and grime into it, and it really will mess up the life of your rope. But honestly, we're out here stretching these things and messing up on poles and trees, so really their life is limited anyway, and we're not rappelling from any tall buildings, so we just have to inspect them and make sure that they're good, okay? So they're not gonna be breaking on us. So he's gonna maintain control of that bite and not let it go. He can put it on the ground, and if he wants, he can just go ahead and put a foot on it, or he can hold it with his hand. And then what the far side person is going to do is they're going to go ahead and start feeding out their line. Now the far side person is going to have a helper over here. Who's the helper for the far side? So the far side guy is going to be over here. And you're going to go ahead and grab that and start walking it out. And the far side is going to grab the tip of the rope here. Pull it all the way back. Make sure you have no rope crossing. It's got to be laid parallel and nice. And you can, there you go, pull it out and away, and it's good. So, they're always going to put a boundary or a barrier in front of the anchor points. Sometimes it'll be 6 feet, sometimes it'll be 5. I mean, sometimes it's 8 feet, and that's really good, because the more, what we have is, you can see a rope laid over there. Somebody grab me another rope so we can just put it here, if you would. I got one right here. So they're going to say, for instance, that this is is that good enough for you, male team?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is your boundary line. This is considered land. Anything over here is, just think of it as it's a drop off to a 100-foot gorge, okay? You don't want to be on this side because you die. But if you even touch the rope or the line or go over in competition, instant 30-second penalty for every time you cross and touch on that other side, okay? So you got to pay close attention to the boundary line or the border on this lane. So we have the far side guy, and he's got his rope laid out, and he's going to go ahead and just set it down. As long as he has his rope not lying on top of it, you know, there you go, it's all clean, he's good. Now, do you think he can set this rope up over here? No. No. It's got to be behind the barrier. Does he have to be all the way back here and set it up? Absolutely not. Because he's wasting time. He's going to be running across in 1001, 1002. He's already wasted 2 seconds by setting it up way back there. Now, once in a blue moon, they'll say that you can't have your rope pre-set up. Well, what does that mean? Well, you can't have it around the poles, and you can't have it, laying around. You have to have it away from the obstacle. So all the far side guy does, go ahead and grab the rope and pull it back. All the far side guy does, pull it back. There's my anchor point right there. He can go ahead and set it up right here. But if they don't say anything, come all the way up here and set it up. Just don't cross the line. Make sense? Okay. So far side guy is basically set up. He has his helper, who's going to have a pair of gloves or a glove. He's going to have at least one glove. It'd be beneficial. Now the commander is going to go ahead and start setting up his rope to begin to tie the transport tightening system. Everybody has a kind of a different method. For the past few years, they kind of like making this this snake type formation. Go ahead, have you guys seen it before? You two seen that before? Okay, kind of move just to the side so they can check that out over there. If you're new and need to see this, check it out. So you can see it looks like a kind of a snake on the ground. The reason he's doing that is he's trying to make it as easy and as fast as possible to tie his transport tightening system. So what he's going to do when he's already got that going, go ahead and lay the rest of the rope out. He's going to make sure that he doesn't mess up the integrity of his little snake on the ground over here. And who's the tall man? The tall man is going to be grabbing the rope, and he's going to be grabbing the rope and putting the rope up here. Now really, if the commander wanted, he could set it up, out here, but usually they're pretty close to the pole. So the far side guy is going to make sure that he has this little loop right here where he can stand in it. And all the rest of the team now needs to make sure that they take the rope and stretch it out behind. So get all this stuff out, stretch it nice and clean back there. Make sure they don't pull it out, so you got to kind of hold on to it.
You mean your side?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. The near side guy. Okay, so we're good. So this is really how the rope should be set up prior to, this is all part of your 5 minutes. Tying your Swiss rappel seat and getting your rope all set up the way you want. The far side guy. Far side guy is going to be, or I'm sorry, the tall guy here. He's responsible for what? The stick or the implement. He's got that. That's part of him. He makes sure that he has that thing, and they'll usually set it right here by the pole, and where it's he can easily grab it. Okay, and he himself is going to position himself right with it. If he wants to hang on to it, he can. It's just going to be there for setup. He can't be hanging on to it, so just set it right there. Okay. I'm not going to cover the inspection of the Swiss seats and all that, but they're going to come up and they're going to inspect you and make sure all your seats are good, and they're going to say any questions. They're going to say, all right, get your team ready, Commander, and they'll either say get set go, or they're going to say on your go, Commander. And when you say ready go, then they're going to hammer the time, and the time begins. There's another person on this side, and he's the snap link guy. I don't know what the proper name is. We always call him the snap link guy. Any other names you can think of? The carabiner guy, the near side. Really, all of you are near side guys. The good looking guy. So no humility at all, right? So he's going to make sure that his 2 snap links are up here and laid out on the ground. And then when they say come up and get ready to start the rope bridge, you're going to go ahead and get in position. We have our far side guy. We have his helper with a glove. We have the team that's going to be pulling. We have the commander, the tall guy, and the carabiner or the snap link guy right here. Okay, so whoever's going to be pulling, go ahead and get ready back here. And we're going to be going through this really slow, piece by piece. Okay. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. Now, can anybody tell me why the helper of the far side guy is going to have a glove on? He's going to be what they call belaying the far side guy across this river that's raging. So he's going to have a hold of that rope. Now, usually you're going to do it with 2 hands, but in raider competition, as long as you have it with 1, you're good. Do not let go of it. It's a penalty if you do. You have to guide them across and belay them across the obstacle. So, at this time, the commander is going to look at everybody, and we're not going to go full speed here. He's going to look at everybody and he's going to say,
Everybody ready?
and usually it's going to be like a really command presence, you know, making sure everybody's fired up and ready to go. And he's going to give the command, get set, go! And everybody's going to start doing their thing. All this is going to happen simultaneously, but for this purpose today, I'm just going to show you real quick piece by piece. So we're going to start with the far side guy. The far side guy, when the commander, and you can relax, not you, these other guys. When the far side guy is given the command, get set, go, he's going to reach down nice and slowly. It's going to be full speed, but he's going to tie that figure 8. Everybody see that? A figure 8. Very fast, much faster than a bowline. He has 2 snap links on, and you notice how easy it was to hook that snap link on like that? If he put it on like that and forgot, it's harder to get it on down here. Just trust me, it is. Flip it around 180 degrees, and he pops it on. Couple ways to do it. Couple ways to do it. You can open it up and push it on. If you want, if you can hang on to this snap link a certain way underneath, like this, I'm having a hard time doing it from where I'm at. But if he's hanging on to that snap link underneath nice and tight, he can take this rope and throw it across the top and actually just pop it down. And he's racing across. So you don't have to mess with thumbing the gate and putting it in there. Hold that snap link, make sure that loop is over the top, and pull it down tight, and it's going to snap right in. Make sense? You got to practice it. That help? Yeah. Okay, now he snapped it on. The next command out of his mouth is going to be
Crossing.
He's going to tell him crossing. Now, once they say go, the helper of the far side guy crossing the rope, he needs to grab a hold of that rope immediately. Okay, grab a hold of it. And you're waiting for him to say crossing. The minute he says crossing, you're going to move up to this line. Hang on right there. Do you understand why he has to move up toward this this line right here? Stay right there. Nice and slow. Walk. Crossing, 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 crossing. Stay there. Crossing, 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 crossing. And bam! It's going to come out of his. He's working right here. Step on it. He's going to be working all that. It's going to have tension in his hand, and that's going to yank right out of his hand. And there's a gig right there because you lost control of your belay. So, go ahead and grab it again. Come on back. So when he says crossing, you're going to be up here close. Get up here real close to him. Don't get in his way, but you're going to be about 5 feet back. And once they say go, grab the rope, make sure you're not messing with him tying here, and he's going to start crossing. As he starts to cross, this is what he's going to want to do. Have you done this before? Yeah. Okay. As he's crossing, check it out. As he's running across, he's going to simultaneously take this snap link and flip it 180 degrees around. You know why? As he's flipping this thing 180 degrees around, when he gets to the far side, all he has to do is unsnap the snap link. If he does not rotate that snap link 180 degrees, he's going to get to the far side. Oh, it's not unhooking on the snap link right here. You see that? And he doesn't want to take that off. So he has to take, try to get that off. It's like, it takes time. So en route, while you're running across, flip it 180 degrees, and he has his hand on it as he's running. When he gets to the far side, right when he crosses that line, he unconnects it just like that. Okay? So, go ahead and tell him you're crossing, and go ahead and just kind of walk across. You're going to move up, and stop right before the line. I mean, give yourself a foot. Don't mess up. Everybody shift all the way down. Come on down. Hang on. All right, once the helper sees that he has crossed the barrier line right here, once he's crossed, he can drop the rope, or she can drop the rope. I'm saying he, but I mean she, he. Drop the rope, and we're good. What he's going to do then is he's going to go around the rope, and he's going to hook it into the line itself. And once he hooks it into the line itself, you got to snap it in. Maintain control. His command is going to be what? Secure. He's going to yell secure. About the same time that transport tightening system over there should be built. It should almost happen simultaneously. Okay? How did last year go? Were you about the same time? Or were you a little bit? Who was working the last year? Ladies? Were you waiting on anybody, or was it simultaneous? Or okay. Who were you waiting on? The commander?
No, I'm a commander.
Were you waiting on the commander last year, or were you waiting on this?
Far side.
Okay, so far side's got to be fast. You need to be sprinting across the obstacle. Get to the far side, stay secure. Once the transport tightening system is built, the commander then is going to tell him to take up slack. But put this on pause, come back here real quick. Because while he's running across, the commander is building his system up here. All right, get where you can see. Get where you can see. You remember the wireman's knot? He's going to tie that wireman's knot right here. So he's going to pick up his 3 loops. That's, now show him the loops in your hand. Those are the 3 loops that we just showed you over here. He just positioned it on the ground where all he had to do was grab 1 ridge, 2 ridges, 3 ridges, and he's got 3 loops running across his hand. And now he's going to go ahead and do his wireman's knot. Heel, finger, into the center. Now that's his wireman's knot. Make sure that you have enough of a loop here. They usually want about a foot. Make sure you have about a foot or more. He's going to go ahead and push this back through. Does everybody see that? See how he pushed that back through? And when he's pushing this back through, the tall guy right here with his implement is just looking for him to push it back through, and he's going to hand it to him, keep it up high so they can see, and he's going to put that stick through the bite right there. And then the commander's going to straighten it out. Then the tall guy is going to hang on to that implement or stick. Now, this is what also happens. Hang on before you do that. He's going to be done with what he has to do. So forget that right now. He's going to have his snap links snapped on the line. So I'm just bringing him over here to help. The minute they put the stick through, he's going to hand the loop. Come over here. There you go. Kind of stand in between here. Get in between the rope. Okay. He's going to hand the bite over to the snap link guy. He's going to hang onto this. Commander is still going to be hanging onto that up tight, and that is where he's going to be tightening it. He can pull on each one of these kind of individually. I mean, not so. It's going to be, instead of pulling, it's going to be more this way. This tightens it, not this. Okay, so tighten it kind of up and down. Okay, let go. That's the transport tightening system. A wireman's knot with your implement in between on the bite right here. And you have your little your bite on this side, handing to the snap link guy. Everybody see that? So when you get done and break this thing down, the implement comes out, feed this back through, and it comes out like butter, the whole knot. So we have the implement in place and we're good. Okay, you go ahead and hold that. All right, snap link guy. Go ahead and get in between. I always had the guys get in between the rope just like that. Now the way that we want the snap links are going to be hooked onto this line right here. And the way they're going to be hooked onto the line, do you know how?
They have to be
Okay, go ahead and hook them on. Okay, so they're hooked on to the line. Now, basically what he was saying is they have to be an X. When you hook these things on, when you push down on your snap links, can you see how it forms an X right there in the opening gates? See the X? If you put them on the wrong direction, they're going to be parallel, and that'll be no good. They have to create an X. So you can figure out how you want to do it quickly, but the quicker you can put these on, the better off you're going to be. Now, something else real quick, hang on to that. Something else real quick that we did a few years ago, cadets were struggling with what side does this, because you're going for speed, every second counts, right? So what side does this open on? You know, they try to hook and it's like, oh, wrong side. So a lot of schools don't do it, they really don't think about it. But a Viera is intelligent, right? So what we did is we started putting a piece of tape around the side of the snap link, or the end of the snap link, that actually opens up. Ha! Look at that. And it doesn't have to be a piece of masking tape. It can be a piece of orange or yellow tape. It's a quick identifier visually of that's the side the gate opens on right there. So what you want when you hook these on is you want one to hook under. See how I'm hooking it under? And this one's going to hook over. That will create the X. You can see the X right there. You see that? So one's going to hook over, one's gonna hook under. Once you get them hooked on, then all you have to do is spin your snap links and you're good. If you try to put them on, like this, both up, you saw that when you did it, you were like, it's harder. So go ahead and get them set up on the ground where all you have to do is snap, snap, and flip, and you're good, okay? So far side guy's gonna have his snap links on the ground. He's gonna have them the way that he wants them. And he's gonna that way, and flip it. You make sure you flip the snap links. They have to be opening both on top. Have to be, or it's deficiency. They'll give you 30 seconds. So as soon as he gets these snap links, he's gonna stay by the tree here. Once he gets these snap links on, all he's gonna be doing is waiting for this loop to come to him. Once this loop comes to him, he's gonna then go ahead and snap them on. Now, one at a time is the best. Snap one on, snap the other one on. Okay? And you see what we have here, right? We have two snap links. We're connecting the loop to the rope. But what must he do right now? Because when he hooked them on, what happened? He's got to flip one because they need to be opening on the same side. Make sure that it's flipped. Sometimes when you're doing this tightening system, you'll get this thing rocking like this and moving, and you put them on right, but it'll flip on itself. So before they start tightening it, you need to make sure you get it flipped, okay? So, Commander, it's all good. They have built this at the same time the far side guy has said, secure, okay? And at that time, the commander's gonna give the command of
Take up slack.
take up slack. He's gonna unhook the snap link, and notice how he's gathering all the rope in his hand, or his hands. Now at this point in time, the tall guy is gonna go ahead and grab the rope and start pushing it above his head. Now check it out. Trust me, if you're down here, there's a lot of tension on the rope. It is hard to pull the slack out when the tall guy's grabbing the rope. No, you have to V your hands. And you can actually, if you want, as you're like this, as he's saying take up slack, the far side guy can actually be feeding it out to him. Go ahead, take it up. He's feeding it. He's feeding it. He's feeding it. Okay? Everybody got that? So as long as you keep it up, you can feed the rope out to him because there is a lot of friction on the rope. Go ahead and grab that rope and pull it back just a hair. Okay, when the commander says take up slack, commander is going to have to time this. This is what we have. We have a transport tightening system. When we have raiders crossing the rope, they're going to have to hook their snap link into the line forward of the transport tightening system. Can they hook in back here? They're going to be like, why am I not going anywhere, right? You got to hook in forward. So when he takes up slack, you're going to be pulling and tightening this rope up very, very tight. Go ahead and start pulling a little bit. Let him pull. There you go, feed it to him. All right, stop. All right, if the commander says take up slack and he only brings the transport tightening system to about right here, and he says, don't do it yet, stop, secure far side. Once these guys start to pull, they're gonna start pull. Go ahead, they're gonna pull it, the rope's gonna start tightening, they're gonna pull it, keep going, and all of a sudden they're gonna be like this. And the rope isn't as tight as it needs to be, and they're like, we're in trouble. Because now we got a rope that looks like this, and we can't pull it anymore, it's stuck on the tree. So you have to make sure you get it out far enough to where when they actually start tightening the rope and tightening it, that the transport tightening system is about right in this area right here, allowing your raiders enough room to hook into the rope and go across. You can't hook in over here because what's on this side? The big valley, right? The gorge. You have to hook in on this side. So go ahead and take up slack. Go ahead, tall guy. Bring it back around.
Okay,
Come on.
everyone let go.
There you go, there you go, there you go. Don't mess with that, mess with this. There you go. All right, so it's here and he says take up slack. So he starts going across. You go ahead and time it the way you want, but I will tell you that usually raters are pretty safe if they can do it about arm's reach from here. Don't touch that line, but you can kind of guess it to arm's reach. Once they're at arm's reach, he's going to say,
Stop, secure far side.
stop, hang on now, stop, secure far side. So you guys just kind of hold what you got, hold it, hold that, don't tighten it, just hold it. All right, everybody come down here and watch what the far side guy does. All right, far side guy or a far side rater, they have to secure the far side. They came up with a different technique a couple of years ago, doing 8 wraps around and hooking the snap link in. I haven't seen any success as far as speed with that. You can try it and mess with it, look in the MOI and see what they say. But the far side rater is going to have to secure the far side. They're basically going to, you notice how he collected everything up in his hands, it's not on the ground. And he at this time is going to run, he's going to walk for today, but he's going to get that rope as high up as he can, stop. And he has gone around how many times? Once. He's going to go around 2 times and keep it high. He's going to try to keep it high. Once he hits his second time, everybody come to this side now. Go ahead and cross under the rope and come to this side. Once he gets to this side, he's going to have his rope in hand and he's basically just going to throw it out. Now, notice how when he went around, when he was wrapping it around and he had it in his hand, like this, he was wrapping it around, keeping it up high, he's going to throw it out. But look at the tension I still have on the rope right here. And I'm keeping that tension on the rope because if I let go here, this is going to go and all that's going to come out. Okay, so he's gone around 2 times. I keep my hand next to the pole up here. That's how I've always done it. Many techniques, but what we basically have to do is secure this with a couple half hitches. Okay, you have to secure this rope and keep it taut. What I've always kind of shown raters is get like a handful of rope here. The tension is still here, but now watch what I do with my left hand right here. I'm going to let go. You see where I have the tension now? Is the rope getting loose? I have all the tension right here. While the tension is here, now I'm going to reach down with this and I'm going to bring this right back up to the pole. I've created a nice bite in the rope. Everybody see that? The tension's where? Right hand. When I come back to here, now the tension is left hand. Everybody see that? Now what you're going to do with this bite right here is you're going to come out from the pole a little bit. I'm creating what they call a window right here. And you're going to throw this bite over the top of that window. I still have tension on it. Do not let go of your tension ever. And you're going to reach through this window. Don't reach here anywhere. No matter where this rope goes, you're going to reach through the window with your right hand. And you're going to grab that bite. Grab the bite and pull it all the way through. Don't let go of your tension with your left hand. The tension's still on my left hand. And once I get that bite through, I'm going to go ahead and snap it. And that's basically going to give me my first half hitch. Then I'm going to grab it with my left hand again. Okay, left hand tension. I'm going to throw it over again. And notice the window. I'm pulling away from the pole a little bit. I'm creating another window right here. See that? I'm going to reach through again with my right hand. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to do my second half hitch. Notice I didn't pull it all the way through though. I'm creating what they call a quick release. Because when this thing gets really tight and they want to break it down, this single loop here is going to be able to be pulled and the knot is going to come apart just like that. And you're just going to feed that out. Everybody understand that? Now here's something real important. You want to make sure that your bite here is long enough, because when if you don't have a long enough bite, this is what's going to happen. You're going to go here, you're going to reach through, and as you pull it through, if you don't have enough, it's going to pull all the way through and you're going to be like, oh, I lost my quick release. If that's the case, go with it. Just tighten it up, or if you don't have enough, you're going to have to go with it. But if you can prevent it, always try to get a quick release in here. Where your first half hitch is there, throw it over, come across, and your second half hitch. Now they want actually your tails here to be about 6 inches at a minimum. These are more like a foot, 14 inches, okay? So once the far side guy gets this, what are you gonna do then?
Secure.
He is going to push
Push
it up as far as he can, and he's gonna say,
Secure.
secure! And at that time, when they're gonna get ready to start pulling on this rope, the far side guy, usually what they can do is they can stand right here, and as they start tightening it, they can take their hand V'd. Don't have your hands up here when they start tightening it. You don't want to lose a finger. Keep your hands away. But what we've done is we just kind of popped it like this to get that knot as they're tightening it as close to the pole as you can. Okay? So everybody come back to this side again. Okay, other than getting this all too far out or not far enough out, one of the major problems that Raider teams have is they don't pull in a straight line. You have to pull in a straight line or you're pulling against each other and you're not getting your rope as taut as it needs to be. And you want to keep it as close to the pole as you can and pull straight back. Timing is everything, just like tug of war. Ready? Pull, pull, pull. Every cylinder's got to be firing here, all at the same time. If you get somebody just a little bit off, you're losing tension on your rope. So it's very important that you pull straight back and in timing. Those that have done Raider competition before, have you seen teams like pull, 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 pull? Oh, let me take a nap now. Pull, pull 18 times. It's not getting any tighter. So I would always tell my teams 3 times, 4 times max. Pull, 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 stop, or pull, 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 stop. The commander says stop, and then he'll say wrap it, or tie it, or whatever term you want to use, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tie it semi. Let's go ahead and show them how to do it first before we pull like mad. So we're only gonna pull just maybe halfway, guys, okay? So we can show them the tie, and then we'll let you do it for real, okay? So the commander, he says far side secure. Commander says
Run it back.
Run it back, slow. They're gonna run it back. They're gonna start running it back. Once all this little piddly slack is out, the commander sees all that slack's out, then he's going to give them the command of pull. Go ahead.
Pull.
Pull. Pull. Easy. Pull. Pull. Stop. Now, hang on. They don't have a lot of tension on it, so you don't have to worry about it. Go ahead and let it go again. Once he sees that it's about as tight as they're going to get it, he at that time is going to say stop. They do nothing but hold the rope for a split second. When he says stop, the commander's going to come up here and he's going to pinch the ropes together. They will not allow you, at least unless they've changed it, they did not want you spinning the rope. You hang onto the rope without any spins, tighten it. Tall guy, he comes up there, he grabs it, and when they grab it, they want to create an alley right here. Create an alley for the guy wrapping to run. He's going to have to run through here. Now, if this transport tightening system is way back here, and they're like, I can't get out of the way. Well, sure you can. You just move your hips and you're like this, right? So, they're both going to hang on to that rope because it has max tension in it, and we don't want to give that tension up. At that point in time, the tie guy, okay, the tie guy is going to be up here close to the rope. When he says run it out, the guy right here, your snap link guy, right? The snap link guy is going to let him run it out. It's only when he's going to start pulling that he grabs a hold of it and he starts pull, 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 stop, wrap it. They're only going to say wrap it when they have their hands on the rope here. Commanders, I've seen it 100 times. Don't make the mistake in competition because things are like going like crazy fast, and all of a sudden you got the commander and the tall guy let go, and they're hanging on. Hey, oh, look, keep it. You got not you guys. Hang on to the rope up there, commander, and they're hanging on right here, and you're over here. What's that doing? Nothing. All the tension is right here, but they lose their mind and they're like and they're hanging on, and they can't figure out what's going on because we lost all our tension in our rope. So they want to be on the tension side of the snap links, hanging on to it, and then they're going to go ahead and say wrap it or tie it. At that point in time, when they say wrap it or tie it, everybody in sync back here starts running this direction with the rope. Slow and stop right there. Right there is about where they want to let go of the rope, because if they're over here, look what this sapling guy's trying to do. Go ahead and try to wrap it. He can't get it, can he? Because they got all the tension on it. So they get it about right to there, and all at one time they just let go of it. Just let go of the rope. And now, slow, 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 slow. All right, hang on. Who's the runner? Are you the runner?
I clipped it on.
Okay, hang on, hang on. Who's the runner here? Anybody? Slack man, runner. Okay. Go back around. Hang on to the tension. Go back around. You're good. Go ahead. It's okay if we lose a little. Come all the way around. Okay. Once he says pull, 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 stop, wrap it, and everybody just runs just for a split second and let go, because he needs to wrap it. You have what they call a slack man. The slack man has one responsibility: to give slack to the one who's going to be tying the knot. So he's going to keep it up high. Go ahead and walk it. He's going to walk it around slow, slow, slow. The slack guy is going to be going behind him and giving him slack, feeding him slack. And once he's there, he can let go and get out of the way. How many times did he go around? He went around how many times?
Twice.
Okay. Let go. Let go. It's really wrapped already once. He's going around one. You have 2 wraps on here. It's been argued in the past. Well, he didn't go around 2 times. There's 2 wraps. So they've always said, yeah, okay, you guys are right. So he goes around twice. And where are we going to tie this knot? What side of the pole?
Right side.
Always on the commander's side of the pole. The commander's side. Now notice, as you run around, you got a couple techniques you can use. Go ahead and take that back. Take it back. Pull it out. Couple techniques. Go ahead and pull it out. Get it out of here. This. There you go. As you're going around, you go around once. Slack man. Coming around, notice how I have my arms out wide, spread. I'm not running around like this. I already have my arms spread wide. And as I'm running wide, I'm going to be tying the knot right here. But where's the rope right now? Is it behind me or in front of me? It's behind me. I need it in front of me to tie this knot. So you have the option of stepping over the knot or over the rope, or as you're coming around, which I think that you already did it. As you're coming around, you can come around and basically keep the tension right here and rotate 180 degrees, creating your bite as you flip around. And there it is. Make sense? You got that? So you're running around, tension is on my right hand right here, 180 degrees, grab it, make a bite, have your hand up here by the pole. This hand's got to be by the pole. You have an option. You can throw it over both ropes, or you can throw it over one rope. They give you an option. I think it's easier to throw it over one rope. Any raiders disagree? Nope. So, just look at the MOI, the instructions, but if you throw it over one rope, create a window right here. See the window next to the pole? Reach through, grab it, and tighten it. You know what that is? What is that? It's a half hitch. Now, if you're in a situation where when you do that first one because you didn't create a big enough bite, and you're like this, you put it through and you're like that, you're like, oh man, how am I going to be able to do that with a quick release? One of these has tension on it, it's that one. The other side has slack that you can pull. So there's your slack. But if you have a big enough bite in the beginning, you're not going to have to pull out slack. Throw your second one over, create a window, come through, grab it as close as you can here, because when you grab it, you have plenty of tail, and watch all you have to do. Done. You're not like doing this 3 or 4 times. One pull, bam, done. You save yourself 2-3 seconds tightening this stupid thing up. Make sure you have a good bite, reach through, grab it. And what we've created here is, what's this? That's a quick release. That one's not your quick release. That's what you tighten it up with. That's your quick release. Everything pulls out. Okay? All right, let's get this thing tightened real quick, guys. Go ahead, pull it back.
Watch out for the rope.
Okay, go ahead and have it pull.
Pull. Pull. Pull. Pull. Stop. Wrap it.
Let go, let go, let go, let go. You gotta let go. Slack man, run around. Oh, you went too many times.
Too many times, was it?
Now, it doesn't hurt to go too many times, but you're just eating the clock. You can go 5 times around if you want. There's no deficiency. So he throws it over once. Through the window right here. There you go. Pull it. There you go. And again, over the top, through. There you go, through the window. If you want to grab it with that hand, that's fine. Whatever one works. Now, see how it's that's kind of questionable. Okay, let go, guys. You want to make sure that your tail over here has at least 4 inches on it, or 6 inches. So that's pretty good. But look, watch out. See how loose this is? When you tighten it, make sure this does nothing but pulls the quick release out. This side is what tightens it. But let me stress that when you go around, hang on to it. Let me stress though, when you go around, come around, make sure you have a big enough bite, nice smooth as speed. Throw it over, come through, pulls. Over, come through, done. And we're not going fast, it's just smooth. Just every movement counts. Nice and slow, through the window, grab, pull, tighten, done. And now we're ready to load Raiders. Now, one thing that's happening through all this. Who's the guy? Okay. When he's saying there's a far side guy, or I'm sorry, the near side guy. The near side guy, all he has to do, or she has to do, is tie a figure 8 on the end. When they say get set, go, they tie a figure 8, they make sure it's good, and we're good. They're gonna hang on to the end of the rope, and then they're gonna hang on to it. They can get up here, and they can grab a hold of the rope, and they can get ready to pull, 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 stop, wrap it. And at that time when they wrap it, the near side guy is gonna take that loop. He's gonna make sure that he's not in the way of the person wrapping and securing. He's gonna go around, around. He's gonna go and find the commander, and he's gonna hook that into the commander's snap link. Everybody got that? It has to be around the same way you're gonna wrap it is the same way you're coming to the commander. So don't come up here and go around this way and hook it in, or if you come around this way, the rope is gonna be hung up. I'll show you how that comes apart in just a second. So the commander at this time is ready to load Raiders. Okay, the Raiders that are back here pulling. Go ahead and get in line like you're pulling. Go ahead and get in line like you're pulling. Okay, pull, 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 stop, wrap it, run around, and let go, bam. They immediately are gonna come around here. They line up in the order of pulling, in the order that they're going to get on the rope. They simply come around, come on, come on, come on, get up here. They're not gonna cross the line or touch the line. And if you can swing around to this side where you can see better over here, or on the back side, and look how they're loading. Hang on. The only thing you have to worry about if you're going across that rope is that your snap link is facing up and outward, because what you don't want is you don't want to come up to the commander with your snap link not up, because that wastes time. You're going to have to flip it 180 degrees. You have the option, commander, if they come up all jacked up, to say, you know, get out of here, fix your snap link, or fix it right there and waste 2 seconds. Okay, your choice. So at this point in time, don't do it yet. The Raider crossing the rope has one responsibility at this time. Grab a hold of that rope. Don't grab it like this. Spread it out. Give yourself good control of the rope. The commander is going to get in like a squat position, and he's really going to provide like an L with his leg, with his thigh. Raiders are going to be stepping on that thigh. As he steps up, and get on, you can see over here, if you come over here, when he steps up, and what leg do you want to step up with?
What?
You like the left leg? Okay. Well, left leg is, you know, it's farther away from the obstacle, so that might be good. But what he's going to do is he's going to pull himself up. It's his responsible to step up on the thigh, pull himself up to the rope, and all the commander is doing is hanging on to the rope with his left hand to control it, and with his right hand he is grabbing the snap link. And all he's going to do as he steps up, he's going to meet that rope and snap the snap link into the rope. Okay, so go ahead and step up, snaps it in. Okay, now the snap link flipped on us. Okay, see how it's flipped? So come on back down. Well, you're good. And at this point in time, the commander's still here. The raider's going to swing underneath the rope, and he's going to use his legs, and he is going to push off like a swim pool. Spin and push off with your leg against the commander to get a forward motion. Go. Push off, and hold on. The guinea pig. The rules, I think, have changed. As long as your feet are not touching the ground, you're good. Your butt can drag the ground. Your hands, your hands are going to be pulling yourself across the rope, but your feet cannot touch the ground. Your body can, so don't worry about your body. But the tighter you have the rope, the better, the faster you're going to be. Does that make sense? The best thing is just keep your feet on the rope or above the rope. Make sure that they don't go down to the ground. A lot of people, as they comfortable, right? A lot of raiders, as they go across, they get into this thing like this, and if their foot touches the ground, you're done. So keep your feet up. You have two options. You can do a one arm at a pull, one arm at a time pull, or you can do two hands at a time. Pull and grab and pull and stop. Now, whatever you do this. Don't do this. Relax, relax. Don't pull. Good. Pull from there. And go ahead. Let go. And pull from there. Basically, what I'm trying to show you is how not to do it. Get a full extension on your arms when you pull. Whether it's one arm at a time, don't do these little half pulls. You're wasting time. Full pulls, hard full pulls, or one arm at a time, full pulls. Okay, go ahead across. Come on down here real quick. Stop. Hang on. Just give him support so he's not digging. Don't unhook him. Okay. I've seen a lot of, you're good, right? Strong raiders. I've seen a lot of penalties right here because the people that are taking the raider off the rope are touching the line, or they'll step over it or touch it on accident because where's their focus? They're focusing on getting the raider across, but guess where the grader's focus is? Right there on that line. They're looking at you. Every person coming across. You cannot touch the line. And the person getting off the rope, the raider getting off the rope, cannot touch the line. So as you're coming across, let go of it. Did you learn a valuable lesson?
I did.
Don't be the first raider in a demo, right?
Yeah.
So as he is about right here, he's going to have his ACU or BDU jacket on. You're hanging on here. I wouldn't even come close to it. If you want, you can reach out and you can grab them and go ahead and pull. Go ahead. And you can pull them up. I'm not going to rip his shirt, but you can assist them and pull them up. Once they get up to you, you can go ahead and assist them. Hang on. Do not push them up too high because the snap link is, they're not going to be able to get it undone if you push it up too high. It's going to like max it out. You're going to reach up with your left hand. It's the way the thumb is working with the way the snap link is on. Your left hand is going to unclip the snap link. Hang on. What you want to do when you unclip the snap link is you want to use your feet. Your feet have to be on top of the rope. They have to be on top of the rope. And you're going to use the feet as leverage to lift your hips up to get off the rope, to unsnap the snap link from the rope. Once he unhooks, make sure that as he comes down, that his feet are not touching the line, that you're getting them far back. And when he is off the rope, what is he going to yell? Off very loud. And if he doesn't yell it, who's the backup? Right here. So it's your primary, your secondary responsibility to say off. Now how many can be on a rope at one time?
Three.
2, 3, what is it? 3?
3.
So 3 can be on a rope. Commanders, you have to judge the tension of your rope. If you put 3 on and you're dragging them across the ground, does that make sense?
No.
Then spread them out and put 2 on. You didn't get the rope tight enough. So just common sense. So go ahead and watch him load. That's 2 seconds right there if you miss the snap lane. Every second counts.
Go. Go.
Feet up,
Go.
feet up. Feet have to be up. Feet up. See how he's dragging his feet?
Jose,
Up, you just touch. Your feet have to be up. Now when you have boots on, it's going to be a lot easier. I know that it's, you're not wanting to mess your feet up, but the feet stay up. Go ahead.
That's
Go
the
across.
example of a loose seat right there. Yeah.
Yeah, this could be a lot tighter. You have to have your seat tight. You can see how his seat is sagging. Your seat has to be tight.
You don't even
Your feet have to be on top of the rope to provide leverage. You need leverage with your feet. Get another one on. Hang on, hang on. Feet up, feet up, feet have to be up. You can bend your knees to keep your feet up though. Okay, go ahead.
Go.
All right, don't hook your next one up yet. Feet up, feet up, feet up. Yeah, the rope is not taut. The rope could be tightened way, way more. Off. Yep, you got to get in the habit. Feet up on the rope. Feet up on the rope. Feet up. Off. All right, if you think you're ever going to be a commander or potential commander, just come look at this real quick. I mean, you can all look at it if you want. All right, you're going to have a lot of commanders that are going to be grabbing the snap link, and they'll put their hand in the snap link. And as, hang on, don't step up yet. You can put your leg up there. But as they're grabbing the snap link, their hand's going to be in here, their fingers, and it's going to take one time for that opening gate to cut your index finger. How many have had their index finger cut doing this, loading? It'll cut you up. This will be cut up by the snap link opening because you have your hand in here. So what I recommend is commanders grab the snap link like this, okay, underneath. But what you need to do is instead of grabbing it like this, as they step up on your leg, you're going to be more like this and pushing that on like this, okay? So nice and slow. I can hang on to it, but as he's slow. As he steps up, I transition and see where my fingers are, and I'm like that. And he pushes off and he goes. So get used to transitioning and pushing up like this. Everybody got it? Push it from underneath up. Because you're going to wreck your hands if not. All right, go ahead. And transition under. Get your fingers out of there. Try to get your fingers out.
Leg up.
Come on.
Leg up.
Up.
Is this like first time or something? Yeah.
When your last guy is on the rope, the last guy is on the rope. The commander knows it's the last guy, and he's watching his raider. He's going to hook that last raider up, and then he's going to shift over here, and he's going to be standing right by the one loop right here for the quick release on the knot. Okay, on the half hitch. The far side guy, this is what I recommend. You were helping get everybody off, right? Yep. How many of you are over on this side now? Like giving each other high fives. Woo! Woo! It's over. It's not over until the time says stop. So don't goof around. Don't play around. You got to be serious. You got to help. You got to watch. So we're watching. If you were helping get everybody off, who was helping you? Okay? You guys are the main two. You're helping everybody off. Everybody's getting off. As you start getting down to that last person, somebody else needs to trade out with the far side guy. And the far side guy is going to be right by his quick release. Every second counts, right? If you can save a second, I mean seconds, 10 seconds gone just like that. So he's by his quick release. When the last guy is off, the commander is going to say, break it down. Now, when he says break it down, the far side guy is going to yank on his quick release. He's going to undo that knot. He's going to undo all his knots, the half hitches, and he's going to go ahead and get them unwrapped around the pole. Okay? Now go ahead and pull tension on it. No, right here, right here. You haven't done anything, right? All right, put it back up if you can.
I'm done.
Huh?
I undid it.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Okay, simultaneously you're going to do the same thing the going to break his quick release down and undo his knot. Now check what we have here. We have 2 snap links. Before he starts undoing the snap links, he can already see where it's going to unhook from because he identifies the tape on the snap link. So you shouldn't be fumbling around. He undoes one, he's going to undo the other one. Okay, now the snap links are not going to come undone. This snap link is permanently on this bite. This snap link is on the line, correct? But what do we have on the end of the line? The commander's on the end of the line. This snap link's not getting past the commander, so it's just going to be free floating on the line. Not a big deal. Sometimes they'll both be on that. But once he unsnaps both snap links, he's going to yell out to the far side,
Go!
now just walk it out, walk it out, walk it out. Slow, 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 walk. All right, hang on. Everybody see the transport tightening system right there? The implement's going across. Now, as it's going across, the way that he was hooked up at the end, look how all this is coming loose. Go ahead, walk it out, walk it out. They're really going to be running. Walk it out. It's all going to come untangled from around the pull. Stop. As soon as that transport tightening system gets across the obstacle, you have team members over there that are clearing the line. They're taking the implement out. They're undoing the snap link. They're getting the wireman's knot loosened. And you're going to have to kind of do that on the run because it's going to be flying. Okay? So they're continuing to run it out. Continue to run it out. You got to continue to run it out, nice and slow. They're going to be running full speed. Stop. Now, hang on to the rope. Hang on to the rope. It says that the commander has to be belayed across. They're really being belayed across because they're running with the rope instead of someone standing on the far side, hand at a time. It's all competition. Real world, you're going to be doing hand at a time and making sure your commander's not drowning under a log in a river in the current. But in this case, it's competition and you're sprinting on that far side. But this is the deal. That says the commander has to be a tension belay. Is this a tension belay? Yeah, there's tension in the rope. Is that tension belay?
No.
Yes, it is. According to the rules, that's it. They accept that as a tension belay. Is that a tension belay? According to the rule book, that's a tension belay. Do you know what makes it a deficiency or a gig? Is when that commander gets ahead, stop, right? The minute he outruns the rope, that is no longer considered a tension belay in junior ROTC's book. He has to remain behind the rope as they're being belayed across. Go ahead and pull him the rest of the way across. Nice and, now remember, they're going to be sprinting. Go ahead and pull it across, pull it across. He's coming across. The rope can drag the ground, it doesn't matter as long as he's not running across. The commander has his hand on the snap link. As soon as he crosses the line,
Stop!
he tells him to stop, and he is taking out the figure 8 on the end of the rope, and he's clearing it, okay? You have to look at the rule book. Sometimes they'll say that the line cannot be crossing on one another. It has to be completely cleared. I think most recently, they don't care if the rope is on top of each other. They don't care if it's in a great big wad like that, as long as all the knots are out of the rope. And what they're going to do is they're going to come over and say, ah, and they're going to grab that rope, and they're going to pull it out, and they're going to say, okay, that's good. But if that thing is laying on the ground like that, that's considered a knot. Because that's an overhand knot like you're tying your shoe. It's not tight, but that's an overhand knot. Everybody got that? Because they'll just grab that thing like that and say, yep, there's the knot. Okay, I've gone too far, too long.
No, excellent. Let's give Master Sergeant a round of applause, guys. Great job. Great job. And I tell you, I mean, y'all can see the level of detail that he has that's going to make this a lot better for you guys as you start to do it and train with it. So again, Master Sergeant, thank you so much for coming out. And he's always part of the family. I mean, he started off the family, and you're always a part of it, so you're welcome back anytime. And of course, he knows that. And Guys, again, what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to hit the trail running hard with the rope bridge. So I want the females, y'all come out first, do rope bridge tomorrow. Guys, y'all start out your workouts, do your workout first. Team Commander, get me a write-up of what you're going to do tomorrow as far as the workout. Team Commander, Walsh, where are you?
Right here.
Walsh, there you are. So again, workout, what you're going to do tomorrow. My second male Team Commander, where you at? So again, write me out. And also Colonel Murphy, what you're going to do for your workout tomorrow. And then females, what you're going to do for your workout tomorrow. Okay, and then we'll get you on the ropes tomorrow as well, okay? All right.
And the last thing that I have to say is numerous times while I was here with 6 years with Colonel Thomas, we'd come out and it'd be like, where's the stick? We're missing snap links. Or where's the 120-foot rope? And guess where it was? It was off over in the grass over there. So you have to be responsible and accountable for your equipment. You've got to get it off the training area. And I would recommend wiping your snap links off, keeping them, keeping them clean and dry, because they'll rust out and they'll mess up on you. But yep, take care of your equipment, because it's only going to be you're only going to be as good as your equipment. I wish you the best of luck. I know you guys will kill it. I'll be watching you, on YouTube and internet and everything else. So go out there, and I'd like to see a male and a female team taking first in state.
Hey guys, let's have Master Sergeant break us down. So Raiders get in, and Master Sergeant's going to break us down. Hey, I need my team commanders to make sure all the equipment gets policed up. I got to go get ready for a teacher session today, okay?
Y'all ready?
Parent teacher stuff.
Y'all don't seem very motivated.
Come on! Let's go! Let's go!
All right, Raiders on three, Raiders on three!
1, 2, 3, Raiders!
All right,
Good job, guys. Commanders, police up the stuff. Here, Walsh. Have a nice seat.